diagnostics, it took me a very long time to figure out what was wrong with me. Because I had so many skin issues like eczema that went along with it, acne, weird rash around my mouth that they told me was perioral dermatitis. Oh, wow, you gave me a fancy name for a rash around my mouth. And of course they wanted me to take antibiotics. And it was not helpful to me. So I was miserable. I went to dermatologists, I went to gastroenterologists, I went to all kinds of ologists, and I finally found myself at an allergist because I noticed that I would tingle after eating certain foods, and I couldn't knock it down to which food. And I went to the allergist and I told him, look, this perioral dermatitis isn't going away. I'm not taking your antibiotics anymore. I want you to give me a blood test, and I want you to test me for 3 particular foods, which was red pepper, tomato, and cayenne at the time. And now I realize that I can eat those things now because my true allergy was corn. But my body was in such an inflamed autoimmune state because the corn was landing and my body was attacking the corn, but the corn had sort of become a part of me, which is why I firmly believe in GMO crossover. And if you want to just debate with me on that, then fine. You just wait until I study my own rats, Buster. And I said, well, I want you to order these blood tests. And he did. And the funny thing is, it came back that I was moderately allergic to those things. But this was what I want to talk to you about. It was a blood test, okay? He drew my blood and they tested the proteins and my body reacted. That's not cool. You don't want your body reacting, to everything you eat, which is where I had gotten to. And of course I was like crazy neurotic and anxietal. My goodness, I couldn't even eat. It came back that I was allergic, and I then went back to my school and I asked them to do a blood panel of a lot of foods, and it came back like 10 foods. Wheat, corn, soy, sesame, walnuts, peanuts. I mean, there was nothing left that I could eat. I tried to follow that for a while. And so I know some of you out there may have tried getting these blood panels, but I want you to think about it like, if those foods didn't make it to your blood, then you wouldn't have that problem. So denying yourself all those wonderful nutrients, it's horrifying. It's torture, okay? It is torture. And I felt a little bit better when I stopped eating those things, but then I realized I couldn't eat anything, and I was planning a wedding at the time, and I just decided we were having a caterer, like the best caterer in town, thanks to my mother-in-law, and I wasn't going to eat. I mean, I got tested for celiac. I thought there's something in my gut that is causing this inflammation so that these foods can get into my blood in the first place, and I've got to figure out what it is. Luckily, it wasn't celiac disease, but I went in. Finally, I gave in and went back to that allergist. And I didn't talk to him. I talked to his physician's assistant. And we agreed to give me a scratch test. They didn't have a scratch test, luckily, for the items that I thought I was allergic to, which I now eat all the time, by the way. I love, love, love buffalo sauce and cayenne pepper and all that, and I can eat it. She gave me a scratch test of the 10 most common foods. So why not just skip all the torturous blood work and go straight to, the scratch test? If I could go back in time, I would have done that. But corn is the only thing that came back. Wheat didn't come back. Soy didn't come back. And I'm so thankful that my husband pushed me to go and do that. And I just want to say that the medical system did not cure me. I cured me because I was tenacious and I was persistent, and I demanded them to give me the help, the diagnostics, and everything that I deserved. And after that whole fiasco, removing the corn, I do feel a ton better. And I don't know if you can tell, my skin looks pretty good. Like sometimes, yes, you'll see me with some pimples. It's because I consciously chose to eat something with a little bit of corn. Maybe it's banana pudding. Maybe it was a hush puppy at the seafood restaurant. I'm not perfect. And I make those sacrifices, but it's my choice now. It's my choice. I didn't just take an antidepressant to make the symptoms go away. And it wouldn't have, by the way. Antidepressants, in a lot of studies, aren't as effective. And maybe that's why. Maybe because they're being prescribed instead of the doctor trying to take time and figure out what's going on. And so as a result of that, I formed a relationship with a company called Direct Labs. And you can go to directlabs.com/Eden Cultures, or you can just go to my website. You can order your own lab work. I want you to have that power. If I didn't push for that lab work, I would have never figured out what was wrong with me. And I'm not saying I can interpret that for you because I cannot interpret your lab work. But if your doctor is going to sit there and argue with you, you're going to pay a $35 copay plus who knows how much every month to ask him and beg him and plead him to order a test for you. How undignifying is that? Take the power in your own hands, get the test that you want, and take it to your doctor and say, oh, look here, Mr. Know-It-All. Maybe I'm not crazy. And yes, I'm still a little bit crazy, but I'm not miserable as in the way that my stomach doesn't hurt all the time. I know what causes my acne. I know what was causing my anxiety. And now I can focus on my spiritual healing and because I know what was causing my physical pain, and I wish that for you. So, take the power, take the control, and check out the supplements on my website. Check out the lab work on my website. There's a ton of lab work that you can order, and you can order it. You print out the form, you take it. You don't have to argue with him. You don't have to. I took that away. I helped you with that. And that's not me giving health advice. That's me giving health freedom. And that's what Eden Cultures is all about. I love you all. Please subscribe and please comment. And if you think I'm nuts, go ahead and tell me because I'm used to it. Bye-bye.